All right. Well, hey, everyone. It is Monday. It is June 28th. My name is Dee Corchin, and you are on the Coaches Up for Change weekly team time. And really glad to be here with you. And we come together every Monday night for community time, but most importantly, for our own personal development, for our own personal growth, to put us in a better position to be able to better serve other people, which is what we do as coaches. So we're about to wrap up the end of the month of June. So hopefully you are doing well. We know it's been a little slip sliding this month, right? With clients and whatnot. But I was on a call this past week with leadership, and we are starting to see some improvement with shipping. They've got everything in line. So we're watching that happen. So thank you for everything you've been doing. I know you've gotten kind of fatigued of all of this, but I think we're on the better side of the curve. That's certainly what we're hoping for. So thanks for all you're doing there. And as we're wrapping up the month, I do know a lot of you guys are close to your goals. Maybe your volume is down, but a lot can happen in 2 days. I just had a coach telling me she's helped more people this month, new clients, than she ever has. So there are people there that want to be a part of what we have to offer. So we'll talk about more of that, but just encourage you to stay strong and stay bold in what you're sharing. Before we finish the month on June 30th. And just a couple of quick announcements before we get into our topics for tonight. We have the new top 3 I'm going to do each week. Hopefully you guys like that idea. If you do, just drop it in the chat there. But just trying to help keep our focus and our priorities. So this week, the big one is that with Optavia eliminating for the time being their live calls on Monday nights and Wednesday nights, some coaches were called the field. So there's the home office, which is Optavia corporate, and then there's the field. The field is coach run events. There are going to be coach run calls on Monday night, with the first one being our first client community call tonight at 8 p.m. And this is not a national call with all the IPDs. This is Dan Bell with a couple of IPDs in his organization that we've collaborated. So I know who's on these committees planning the calls and presenters, and we are in for a treat. So I'm hoping that we can finish up a little bit early tonight, because we're going to be fumbling, getting some new numbers. The numbers for that call, as well as the 8:30 call, which is the coach community call and training, are going to be the same. So your clients could stay on. If you've got somebody who is interested in coaching, they could stay on after and watch it. And those numbers, that new Zoom link is posted in Coaches Up for Change, and it was in the email that I sent you this morning. And I just want to mention again, because we had 3 coaches today on our team in our organization sign up for in-person convention and get in. So there is still time to register for in-person convention. The deadline is June 30th, which is Wednesday. There is a waiting list, but if you go there, you register. So if you've got a coach on your team, or if you are not registered yet, or a client who wants to go, still possible. And then the other option is going to be virtual. All right. But if you're on this call, like, you want to do either or, hopefully be there in person. And then we just announced today we're going to do an Atlanta regional event, which is an Optavia event where we do a program overview, coaching overview, personal development and training. And that is happening on Saturday, August 28th. So go ahead and mark your calendars for that. And if you live outside the area, really 2 choices. You are welcome to come. It's a half-day event. You are welcome to come. We would love to have you be a part of it with us. You can send people here. If you have clients and candidates in the area, you can send people here. Or we can work with you to help you create your own event in your area, which can start as small as just having a few people over, or creating something bigger. But that's how Atlanta got started, was just just decided let's start having people together. And then it just built from there as coaches came into our community. So, and then towards the end of this call, time permitting, we will talk about the new challenge that we have coming up, the Resolution Reset Challenge, which, coming up on June 30th, it's a good time, not only for us to be working with clients on their goals or whatnot, but to even be looking yourself at your own business, your own trajectory, your own personal health. Are you on course for where you want to be? Because July 1st is kind of that mid-year mark. So we'll talk more on that later. But tonight's focus is going to be primarily on the last week of the fundamental skills training. So Terry Miller and her team have done kind of a shortened version of Dan Bell's 6 fundamental skills. And I just want to talk a minute about why we're going over it again, because one, you might have missed the training, but you also might be new to Optavia as a coach or new to attending these trainings. And the one thing that we just really want to emphasize is the importance of following the best practices that have been developed by leaders ahead of us, by keeping it simple, and keeping it structured. And by doing that, it's going to simplify your role as a coach tremendously. It's also going to make what you do very attractive to other people. So, part of the transition with the company and their Monday night trainings and Wednesdays is we've realized it's the basic things that we just keep, repeating. So it's kind of a rinse and repeat. So we want to continue to hone these skills, refine these skills. And every time you listen, we learn something different. So I'm going to have 2 people share tonight. The first one is Jennifer Weithman. Jennifer and I have been coaching together for a while. I wanted her to share her story about how she found Optavia and kind of what these trainings have done for her and how she started to find the balance of trainings and action to grow her business. So Jen, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Dee, for asking me to share. So like Dee mentioned, we've known each other for many, many years. I was very happy to reconnect. And Dee and Larry reached out and asked if I would be interested in coaching. At the time, I didn't know what Optavia was. And I said, I trust you. I would like to hear more about it. Before I can offer this to someone, I need to know what it is. And I'm happy to share how that worked. So I tried the program myself. About 2 years ago, I started for 6 months. And I'm a breast cancer survivor. So I go to the oncologist twice a year for blood work. And when I got my lab results back 6 months after doing the program, the oncologist was floored. He said, first of all, everything is fine, you're clear. Secondly, what have you been doing? He said, every indicator got better, everything. And he said, he took his pen and paper and wrote it down. He said, I have to share this with other people. A week later, I went for my annual physical. My primary care physician, same exact conversation. She wrote it down. That's the moment I knew I needed to coach, that this was a gift I needed to share with other people. And yes, I lost weight. Yes, I found more energy. I loved it. I love the community. I love the personal development. We are so blessed with all the development that we get. And there's so many great trainings. So I got to sit in on the fundamental basics trainings the past 4 Saturdays. If you haven't done so, no need to worry. They are recorded. You can listen to them again. If you have listened, it doesn't hurt to hear them again another time. I really think no matter where you are in your journey as an individual or a coach, you can take different things out of these trainings at different times. And some of the things that I got, there was the last one, Saturday, was about identifying coach candidates. And there are a lot of similarities to identifying client candidates here. The first one is they have the formula I plus Q equals A. So identify, or qualify, and then approach. Identify, so for a client, it would be kind of like the health assessment. For the coach, it's the coach candidate evaluation form. If you're not familiar with it, there's a great Google document in resources that Dee posted on Coach's Opt for Change page. You can also search by fundamental basics and find information there. Qualify. If you were on one of our calls recently, we talked about getting back to the heart. I think it may have been last week. It goes back to our why. Just like as a client, why are you on this journey? As a coach, why are you coaching? As a potential coach candidate, why would this be beneficial for you? And that's what we need to help them connect with. And many of us became coaches for different reasons. I would love for you to put in the chat the #1 reason you became a coach. And some of the more popular ones are because it worked for you and you want to share that with other people. So perhaps you found meaning, you found purpose, you want to share with others. Maybe you like the accountability. It makes you so much more successful. Dee, what did you tell me, 5 times more successful if you're coaching others to keep up with your own journey. Another one is income. And I've seen so many of you find financial freedom and also freedom from stress and just different approaches. I can say I've experienced all three, and I can see from those of you that have started this journey before me that the sky's the limit. Whatever you put into it, there's a lot of room to grow. One of the other takeaways that I liked was the ketchup analogy, and it's kind of like Dee's flight attendant analogy. So when you're offering this gift of coaching or health journey to others, it doesn't have to be something that if they say no, you're mortified. That's okay. The flight attendant offers the drink beverage. You don't want it then. They may offer again. You may want it the next time. Don't take it personally. If they say no, you're either starting up or you're following up. You're starting up because they said yes. You're following up because they said no, meaning not now. So I hope you'll take time to read the chat, look at the different reasons, and then also think about your potential client and coach candidate. There are many, many different reasons to join. And all of us said yes for one reason or another. And I'm so glad you did. Thank you, Dee.
That was fantastic. Thank you, Jennifer. And funny story, like Jennifer babysat our boys one time way back in Jacksonville. Like that's how we knew her. Larry worked with her. But I just wanted Jen to share for a couple of reasons. She's building a really incredible business that she truly leads with her heart. But Jennifer we approached her from the outside. And really the way we knew her, we liked her, and we knew she was a warrior, as a breast cancer survivor, a single mom raising 3 kids. We knew she worked a corporate job, but we didn't know, was she looking for something else? And it turned out she was looking for something that she could wrap her hands around that provided more fulfillment in her life. It could have been also easy for us to make an assumption. She's busy. She's a single mother. She's working hard. How on earth would she have time for this? Like we could have qualified her. We could have disqualified her, is my point with that. But we simply asked the question. We approached and we asked the question. And then it took a minute, conversations, et cetera. She did the program. But so just as you're thinking about people in your world, identify people that you like, that you think a lot of, that you'd like to partner with, that would be fun to have on your team. Because that's how I found the business, and many of us did. So keep your eyes open beyond our clients, although we know a huge majority of our coaches do come from clients first, as well, just like many of us here. So thank you. That was perfect, Jennifer. And I next want to turn it over to Mary Weathern. And it's been fun to watch Mary, not only on her own personal transformation with her physical transformation, but also growing a business. And, I knew she had a great business. And then one day I looked and I was like, what is this girl doing over here with the coaches she's adding? And these coaches are growing and she's getting close to FIBC. So as this past Saturday in the past 2 Saturdays have been on sponsoring and the Coach Explore, just thought it would be really helpful for everybody to hear from Mary tonight. So Mary, you can take it away.
Thank you, Dee. And I'll just share right now, I'm nervous talking to so many of you, but because I feel like you're like, gold compared to me down here just getting started. But I think for me to share where I came from helps put in perspective where I'm headed. I didn't get into coaching, which I think is interesting. I didn't get into it from being asked, which I think is an important thing to begin with. Is I was kind of thinking about it, but no one ever asked me about it. So once I was asked, I jumped all in. But 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, other than the fact that I had been very overweight in my adult life, it was really, I was that stay-at-home mom and then teacher who was taking care of everyone first. And I had not been overweight my whole life, like a lot of us have struggled with. But once I had children and put myself on the back burner, that was when it all began, and could not find a solution that worked. We all know the story. And so when I saw a friend lose over 100 pounds, I jumped on board, and I waited though a year before I jumped on, because I thought, oh, she's going to gain it right back. There's no way she's going to keep this off. So anyway, fast forward, I did it. I lost 30 to 40 pounds. And that's when I started coaching. And I think the teacher in me came out. I just thought, everyone needs to know about this. Why didn't I know about this? Why have I not known about this until now? And I just felt like I've got to do what I can do to share this with anyone who has struggled and suffered like I have. And it wasn't just like with Jennifer, it wasn't just the weight. That has almost become just a bonus to what it's done with my health. I had a blood pressure scare where the numbers never meant anything to me until they meant something, because it always tended to be low. But when I was obese, I had a point where it was 191 over 121. So I had stroke level scare. Didn't have a stroke, but was mighty close. So my passion was really just to get this world healthy, just like all of us. So anyway, I want to share just a few takeaways from the training. And when it comes to the training, I've been coaching for a year and a half, and I still try to attend every single training I can get my hands on. And if I can't be there, I'll watch the recordings. And these last 4 weeks have been phenomenal. They've really made a difference. And I feel like part of it is because maybe I was dragging a little bit in my own journey, both health and in my mindset with bringing on coaches. And it was time and I needed it. So I wanted to share a couple of things. I know we've heard this a million times, but it's gold. And so much of bringing on coaches is our own mindset. Why did we get into it? Just like Jennifer asked, I was going to do the same thing in the chat, was why did you start coaching? Why did we begin coaching? And always remember that and keep that in the back of your mind, because someone else may need it for some reason as well. But 95% of what happens begins in the 6 inches between our ears. That self-talk can make or break us when it comes to bringing on coaches. And these are some things that I often go through with Meg, who's my mentor coach, is what might somebody benefit from when it comes to coaching. Everybody has their different reasons or a combination of those. And like I said, I didn't get into this to coach, but here I am now, and so grateful I did, because I was really burnt out in the teaching world, and this has just been amazing. Now let me see if I can move this forward without, I don't know if I can get to the next screen. Hold on. Okay, sorry, hold on, bear with me. Okay, so we see this too. Dan Bell also often mentions this analogy is, how do we see our business? And some of us just want to help a few people,
Hey,
and
Mary,
that's fine.
You
Can
might
hear
want to
me?
share your screen again.
Shoot.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Can you see it like this, or do I have to put it in present mode? I'll just do it this way.
It's
Okay.
fine.
Sorry, y'all.
It's fine either way.
So it's how we see our business and what we want to do with it. When I first started, I just wanted to help my best friend and my husband, and then a few more people added on, a few more. And before I knew it, I went from making bricks to building a wall. And now I feel like I'm building that cathedral with helping my clients turn into coaches and see the bigger picture. So one thing they talked about in our training was the 3 Ps of a healthy mindset: our presence, our posture, and our perspective. And that's how we need to go into a Coach Explore, whether we're doing it ourselves or with our mentor coach. So when you go into a Coach Explore, we need to posture ourselves that we're confident that they're going to see the light in doing this. And it's not always about us. It's about everything that we've got this gift to give them. And I thought this was really good, what they said in the training. What you expect is what you project. So if you're just sitting there all flopped over like, oh, okay, here we go again, it's going to come across to there, and they're to the people that are on that Coach Explore, and they're not going to really, see the benefit in it. And then I just wanted to share this one thing that I thought was just amazing and had me in tears this morning as I was thinking about talking today. And I was just doing some of my self-improvement things and reflecting this morning. And I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? And this is what came up in my devotional. So whether you're a believer or not, I think you'll take the message that it is and run with it, I hope. It just blew my mind that it was so connected to what we're all about. But the title of it was You Are a Message. Remember, your voice is your greatest supernatural endowment. You are the carrier of a unique message from heaven that only your life experiences and abilities can convey. No one else has lived your life, muddled through your messes, and made it to this moment the way you have. Your story is one of a kind, a key that unlocks possibility in others. And that's why our ultimate life's mission is about improving the lives of others by teaching what we've learned along the way. So the heart of the whole thing is just sharing with others. And if they see our authenticity, and that we're working on our own journey and working with them, hopefully people will see that and want to do it also. That's it for me.
That was perfect. Thank you so much, Mary. Hopefully you're seeing the comments in the chat. Good stuff. And you're so right. Let's see, is somebody unmuted? Let's take a quick look. Just do me a favor, if you're on, just do a double check that you are muted. And I heard something today too, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump to that right now because it follows on that beautiful message that we are a message. And like I said before, like we're kind of approaching the end of the month where we can get a little fatigued of things happening, kind of into summer mode. Also with even sharing coaching, you know, it's no doubt that a lot of us approach that with trepidation and some fear, right? We've all been there, and it's over time through practice that we get better at it. But if we can come back to that centered spot that Mary said, that's where we find our confidence. But I heard something today, and this could apply to how our clients are making decisions about whether or not to come on program, coming into coaching, or whether or not you share and how boldly you share about this program and amazing coaching opportunity. And it talked about that decisions are made on based on one of 4 motivations in life. If you want to write this down, the first motivation is circumstances. And that is what is happening around me. So you might have decided to go on program, right? Because of circumstances, that you got a blood pressure reading that was near stroke level and decided it was time to do something, right? You might have decided to become a coach because you lost your job and you needed income, or decided to go bigger with your business. So there's some circumstances involved. The other decisions we make that might not work in our favor is under the motivation of convenience, right? So we might have chose Optavia because it was a very convenient program. Okay, that's a good thing. But sometimes we might choose not to work on our program because it's easier not to. Right? We might choose not to follow program because it's easier not to. We might not, do our Facebook post because just for whatever reason, it just feels easier not to. Maybe you've got some competing priorities. Here's a big one. So decisions being made on one of 4 motivations. The third one being criticism, that we make decisions based on what will other people think. Right? And how often do we do that in our boldness? It might affect our ability to share this program the way that we really truly desire, or to share coaching. I've had people say, well, I'm afraid to ask her. I'm afraid she's going to think I'm just blank, fill in the fear. And then the last motivation is convictions. And this is what matters most. So when we talk about, helping an individual create something new in their life, we start talking about their convictions, right? What is most important to them? And we'll get the answers of family, faith, things like that. That's what people want to center their life around. So these are the decisions, and I want you to keep this in mind as a coach. If you are convicted that this program changes lives, it is predictable, it works, right? If we can attract people to this program, show them the path, it works. And the coaching model works, and it changes lives. And if you know that and you are convicted in that, that's how you can leave a legacy. That's how you make a difference in somebody else's life. That's how somebody says, thank you, Mary, for sharing this with me, right? I know I thank the person that invited me to do this. So those again were circumstances, convenience, criticism, and convictions. And I hope you lean heavily into conviction in what you know is true and what you know is right, because you are going to hear the noise. And you think about people who have made a difference in this world, you know, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, you can make a list of them. They all face criticism. They face judgment. They face people that didn't necessarily understand. And that's okay. But what they left was a legacy behind. And a legacy can be one person. A legacy can mean that you turned your own personal family's financial situation around and set a different model for your children as they're going up. So it doesn't mean that you have to do something grand, but making a difference in like even one person's life is leaving a legacy. So I didn't want to miss that opportunity to talk about that. And when you think about offering this to people, to then start to tap into their world on what is most important to them, what are their convictions? And I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to share it here and I'll include a link when I post this. But they shared a new Coach Explore form. So if you haven't had the opportunity to watch the training yet, I want you to take a peek at it. And I also want to just reiterate that the key to bringing on coaches is using the tools that we have and also working with your mentor, doing the tips calls and the explore calls until you build your own confidence up, right? So I'm just going to tell you, after 10 years of coaching, you don't have different clients than anyone else, right? Like your client base is not different, right? Within all of us, we have a population of people that are interested. It might be related to the 3 Ps that Mary said, the posture, the 3 things that she said, but our presence, our posture, and our somebody's gonna have to fill me in on that last one. But I just want to show this form. Perspective. Yes, thank you. But let me see if I can pull it up. I sure hope it will come. Bear with me. Can you see this? It might be kind of small print, but the couple of things I just want to share is that one of the first questions that's asked, and there's a talking script that comes with this as well. But one of the questions that's asked is, you know, what are the most important things in your life right now? And then just listen. And one thing that happens is very often we're already thinking of our response or the next question, and we're not listening to what they say. But this is where they're probably going to share that their family, their children, travel, like these are the things that are most important to them. And in the talking script, this is with the Coach Explore, we get to ask the question, are you getting to do enough of that? Do you get to spend enough time doing those things or with the people that you love? And in today's world, most often the answer is no. So then we talk about, what do they do for work? How long you been doing it? You know, what caused you? Do you love it? What caused you to go into that field? This is where we probably find that they fit in the 80% of people who don't really love what they do. They just do it because it's what they've always done. And I really love the next questions. I just wanted to point this out was, you know, it says coaching offers the ability to create both impact and income. Do both of those things motivate you, or which one does? And then what kind of income would be a potential to you? So we really getting into the heart of what it is we're doing and what we're offering, because I think sometimes, depending on how we do it, we may oversell it, we may undersell it, but we really need to get to the heart of how could it fill a need for them, and what are their convictions, what's most important to them, because that's probably what they're going to base their decision on when it comes to something like coaching. So as we're wrapping up, because I do want to go ahead and head over to that the new client and community call and the coach call, is a reminder that we do have the resolution reset challenge that is starting on July 12th. We went ahead and pushed out that date so you could be attracting new clients, getting their orders in for that. It will be a 6-week challenge that is based on the 6 macro habits of health. So each week in our client group, we'll have a theme for the week, which is going to be awesome. and we got feedback from our last challenge that that's what people really liked. And also inviting our current clients to participate, to keep their enthusiasm high, to help them integrate into all of the program. And then it's a great tool for attracting inactive clients and bringing them back. So we did this for you to give you a tool to go out and market with. All of the information is in Coaches Up for Change. So I hope you take advantage of it. Share with conviction from your heart that you know that even if you bring one person on, it's going to change their life. So great to see all of you guys on tonight. Just so appreciate every single one of you. Have a safe weekend as we head into the 4th of July, and I'll see you on the next call at 8 o'clock with our new community call. Can't wait. Bye. Thanks to our presenters, to Mary and to Jen as well. Bye-bye.